We're midway through December, and around the world in Christian countries, or at least countries in which Christianity is or was the dominant religion, so USA, Canada, UK, most of Europe, it's finally starting to feel a bit festive. And my God, don't we need it after the year that we've endured. And for me, this is what I like about the run up to Christmas. For a few weeks of the year, we're a bit more tolerant, a bit more patient, a bit more understanding to one another. But here in the UK, something which usually takes place is noticeably missing. And that's right-wing nutjobs complaining that the Muslims are trying to ban Christmas. For years, councils and local authorities have put up signs saying happy holidays or season's greetings, but very rarely do they use the word Christmas. And that's because every local authority employs a certain number of people who go out of their way to show how bloody inclusive and woke they are, whilst being completely out of touch with the general population. So this plays into the hands of the mouth-breathing knuckle-draggers, and they're easy to spot. They'll have a dog called Tyson, and even if they went for a meal at a Michelin-star restaurant, they'd still turn up in a fucking football shirt. And every year they say the same thing. See, you can't say Christmas, the Muslims are taking over. Now, I'm not saying that the Islamic faith is without its faults. Whenever there's a news report of a religious-based terrorist attack, I think most of us will leap to the same conclusion. It's unlikely, if someone's been running around stabbing people before detonating themselves, that that's going to be the work of the Hindus or the Jehovah's Witnesses. And when it's confirmed it's an Islamic fundamentalist, no one's going, "will blow me down." Probably a poor choice of words. But that's a tiny minority. In fact, in the UK, I've never met anyone from either an ethnic or religious minority group who had a problem with Christmas. In fact, often they overcompensate. My local Chinese takeaway is run by Buddhists, but on the 1st of December every year they've got their lights up, their decorations, and they're wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. Also, they start handing out those weird calendars that you only get from Chinese takeaways, the ones that look like a small painted Venetian blind. And you can only put those up, for reasons I cannot fathom, either in the shed, the spare room, or on the inside of the kitchen cupboard door. And there's another local takeaway, run by a charming Turkish family. But they've put up so many Christmas decorations, I'm scared of getting my retinas burnt out. It's like they've handed the project over to an excitable 6-year-old who just wants tinsel and glitter on everything. But I confess I'm never quite sure how to respond when they wish me a Merry Christmas, because they're Muslim and I haven't walked into their shop and gone Assalamu alaikum. So when they say Merry Christmas, usually I just nervously say thank you and walk out quickly. A few years ago, there was a department store in Japan, and the Japanese religion is Shintoism, but they were trying to get involved with selling Christmas decorations. And one of the things they had for sale was a miniature Santa Claus nailed to a cross. And they're sort of in the right area. That's 7 out of 10 for effort. But we all make mistakes. And because in this video I'm trying to be a bit more positive and upbeat as we come up to Christmas, I'll give 3 examples of where people have got something wrong, but it's turned out okay. A department store in the USA, and I haven't been able to track down the name of this store, they put together their Christmas display. And although I've never been to the States at Christmas, we've all seen these things, the shop fronts, which are amazing, and it carries on inside the store. Fake snow, oversized toys, lights, music, it's mind-blowing. And to finish off this display, they had oversized versions of the wooden blocks with letters on that young children used to learn to spell. So when the parents turned up with their little darlings, it was meant to say Santa. But they'd been laid out in the wrong order, so instead it said Satan. And given how divided the USA appears to be, at least through the lens of the British media, I was half expecting someone to turn up with an assault rifle and start indiscriminately shooting. But no, the error was pointed out, everyone had a good laugh, it was changed around, and everyone got on with their day. That's wonderful. Then across the pond in Hartlepool, here in the UK, a father bought an inflatable Grinch character because his 7-year-old daughter is obsessed with the films and the Dr. Seuss book. But he bought it from the internet, and we've all heard the horror stories of people who buy something, say a sofa, which they think they've got really cheap, and it transpires it's made for a doll's house. He had a similar experience, but in reverse, because it turns out the Grinch was 35 feet high. But then people started arriving to have their photos taken with the Grinch. So the dad in question got hold of some buckets from local charities and started collecting money. And so far he's raised over £20,000. If that thing was any taller, it would be a danger to low-flying aircraft. And finally, right here in Staffordshire, a man spent 5 weeks putting up Christmas decorations on the outside of his house, again to raise money for charity. But then the council intervened, saying you can't have people congregating outside your house because it breaks COVID restrictions. So either get them down or we'll charge you £10,000 in fines. And on the face of it, that does sound fair enough. But then one of the man's neighbours contacted the council and pointed out that the display had a clearly marked one-way system, as well as how to keep socially distant, and had several hand sanitizer stations. In effect, this is more COVID secure than most supermarkets. So the council had to perform a rather embarrassing U-turn, and now it is open and raising money for charity. So here is the finished result. And on a personal note, fuck living next door to that. What the hell is the guy running it on? The council don't need to worry about people congregating. They need to be concerned that guy apparently has a nuclear reactor in his back garden. So today we've just seen good news stories. So if you're a person of faith or none, season's greetings, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, or whatever it is that applies for you. But as ever, thanks for watching.